guys, so today's video is going to be the very first video that I'm going to be posting on this channel, which is called Nickelodeon Dream Team Podcast PCA to Palm Woods. So, sorry, I have like some things over here that I'm going to be talking about. And as if you can't tell, I am outside. I thought I would film out here today for the very first video. Sorry if my phone looks crooked. My driveway is not really like the flattest, so it might look crookedly. Sorry if that's bothering anybody. But I thought today I would like mention my favorite like Nickelodeon shows slash movies, which is there's only really one movie that I like that's on Nickelodeon. So I obviously have a list of all of the shows and stuff that I watch on Nickelodeon. I mainly watch Disney Channel, but I did watch some Nickelodeon stuff. If you can't tell what one of the Nickelodeon shows that I watched is Big Time Rush. I have now seen them 7 times, met them once. Got a hug from Logan once at like during one of their shows, and then once when I met them, and then I also met Steven, aka Gustavo. So yeah, but I want to go off like the little list that I have of the shows and movies I do watch, so I don't like miss anything. Obviously, the first one is Big Time Rush. Then I've watched Zoe 101, Victorious, Sam and Cat, How to Rock, and Rags. Those were like the main shows on Nickelodeon that I watched. So as I'm like doing today's video, I am gonna be doing a painting, and I know what I'm going to be painting doesn't have anything to do with Nickelodeon. I wanted to do this picture, so I thought I'll print it out so I can have like a decent sized picture instead of having it on my phone. But I also have my notebook here that I have all my concert experiences in, and I was thinking about reading the Big Time Rush concert experiences that I have had over the years from 2012 up until 2025, last year when they did their tour. So yeah, I have seen them 7 times. I've been lucky enough to see them that many times. And then if I have time to, I also want to have some crossover, like some like short stories of some crossover stuff. So, like for example, a Big Time Rush and Victorious crossover short stories, and then I have one, if I can find it, the other one. And then the other one is a Zoe 101 and Sam and Cat crossover. So I know that Victorious and iCarly did a crossover, and then Big Time Rush and Victorious also did a crossover. So at a later date, I probably will do like a short story of Victorious and iCarly, even though I didn't really watch iCarly a lot. I also watched Drake and Josh from time to time, but I didn't really watch them too crazy amount. And I do have my iPad out here just in case I wanted to watch something while I am painting, because I'm thinking about doing a time lapse of everything. So yeah, and I do have a box here with the paints I'm going to be using. The base color I'm going to do to make it like a neutral background, I'm doing light pistachio as like the base, and then of course I do have like all the other colors I'm going to need to do that's like in the picture and stuff like that. So let's get into doing the base coat. I'm probably going to do like 2 to 3 coats, which is usually what I end up doing. So yeah. But I guess what I can do now is kind of talk about some of the episodes that I can remember of each show. Um, but I don't know how I'm gonna do today's video yet. But I mean, I kind of wish I had like somebody else here with me, but I think it might just be me for the podcast. So if there's any ever like awkward moments in between, I'm sorry. I want to make sure I can um have some things that I can like talk about. But what I might do, try today at least, in between each coat drying for the base coat, I will talk about. I can probably read one of the very first experience that I've had for a Big Time Rush concert, or however many I can get through while the paint is drying. And I might also go over one of the short stories. But don't hate me for this. I did kind of cheat a little bit when getting the short stories for the crossovers. I used ChatGPT. I know a lot of people don't like using it because it's a lot of stuff has been so good, like photos and videos and stuff like that. But I only use it to like edit stuff, or if I need to get something specific and I can't find it on Google. Which, I mean, Google does have everything, but I feel like it's not always accurate. I feel like sometimes ChatGPT can be like more, it'll like give you more details and stuff like that. So let me finish up this very first base coat. So yeah, and then I might also have some friends join me who also like Big Time Rush or other Nickelodeon shows that I watch. And then I might also see if I can get interviews with some of the people that were in some of the shows or movies. But I doubt that I can actually get a hold of anybody. I want to try to see if Stefan, aka Gustavo, can like do an interview or something like that. Because I have tagged him a couple of times in a post on my story when on Instagram when I met him, and he did see it and reposted it on his story. So I also will add um like the moments that I met Gustavo and Big Time Rush when I like talk about it, because so today is Thursday, February 23rd. A year ago tomorrow will be exactly 1 year since I met Gustavo. And I know Gustavo is not his actual name. I just say Gustavo because that's like the main name that I like know that it's him. Like I know Stefan is his name, but I'm not gonna. I kind of forget sometimes, but I just know him best as Gustavo, if that makes sense. Oh, and also when painting, I do have this like little tray thing that I can put the paint into. So when I'm like painting, I can just dip my brush into it, especially when I'm doing the sides of the canvas or when I'm doing the other colors. So yeah, but hopefully as time goes on, there won't be like too much awkwardness in between things. So because like I don't know what to talk about while I'm like doing this part. I'm just kind of like blabbering right now. But if this part here seems a little boring for anybody, I'm sorry. You can just skip past until I skip get to the part of like reading out my concert experiences, yeah, I can like talk about it on by memory, but I don't want to miss any moments that I like wrote down in my journal. I know it's like, well, it's not like a personal like diary, which I don't like. I'm okay with like sharing it because I've um shared it on other platforms before. So that's kind of why I don't mind talking about it here on YouTube. And then also one of the concert experiences that I had when I saw Big Time Rush, it was on James's birthday, which so then we got to sing happy birthday to him. I'm gonna try to find a video from like somewhere on YouTube that I can like add into um this video when I get to that part of talking about that experience. And it won't be like, I know it won't be my video because I think at the time that I went to that show, I didn't really I had something that I can like record, but there was really not a lot of like the sound wasn't really the best, or when you did record there was no sound, which was annoying. So yes, I think all of the first coat is done. I am now gonna let this dry and we can talk about the first Big Time Rush experience that I had. Oh, and of course, I do have some water. I have two things of water here. One that I can use just for this brush because it kind of like feels like turns like the whole thing one color. So let's go into my notebook here and go to the very first time I saw Big Time Rush. And if I can get to it. Okay. So here is the experience. So this was Big Time Rush and Cody Simpson. And this was Friday, August 10th, 2012. So I think the second time I saw them was when yeah, so I went ahead and so the second time that I saw them was on James's birthday. So let's get into it. So after watching their show so many times, I finally got to see them in concert for the first time. The concert was in Camden, New Jersey, so we had to drive about 30 minutes. Once we found our seats, Once we found our seats, I went and got merch. I got a Big Time Rush t-shirt, a bag, and a glow stick. And I also got a Cody Simpson poster. So the poster was like a holographic type thing. Hold on one second. Sorry about that. My mom just got home. I just didn't want to film while she had just gotten home. So yeah, the Cody Simpson poster was like one of those like holographic ones where if you had it straight, it would be one picture. If you turned it a different way, it was like a different picture. And then the shirt that I got was a pink and white tie dye with them on it and the toy dates on the back. And then the bag that I got, I think it was pink with them on it. I can't really remember what that looked like, but I used that quite a lot. And I think like the straps kind of started to like wear and tear. So yeah. Um when I got back to my seat, Cody Simpson came on. He is one of my favorite solo artists, and I was happy to finally see him live. He definitely was one of my favorites back in 2012 up until whenever he took a break from music, because I think like from 2012 and up until like I think when I was in high school maybe he was doing music, and then for a while I haven't really seen him post much. I forget like what happened, but I think now he's like coming back and doing more music and stuff like that. So yeah. Um when we were waiting for Big Time Rush, I was just sitting in my seat impatiently because I was not because there was really nothing to do, and I was just like really excited for them to come on stage since this was also my first time seeing them, and I was like excited to finally see them in person since I've seen them so many times on TV. So after waiting for a really long time, they finally came on. One of the things they did was during their songs worldwide, they all picked one girl to come up on stage, which everybody knows that almost every single show that they do, except for the ones that they did at Jingle Ball, I believe, they brought up each of the boys brought up a girl on stage for worldwide. The only other time that they didn't do that was when I saw them in 2013, for James's birthday. James was the only one that picked a girl, and I yet to be picked, and I'm hoping that one day I can be picked. So, um, so there was four girls on stage, and they were all singing the song. They were playing the fan videos in the background. I think if I remember correctly, while they were like singing the song in the like on the screen, they were doing like fan videos, and I think I did do like a video for that, and I posted it online, and it didn't. I don't think it got shown, but and when I wrote this was like I wrote this down like a while ago, so there might be like some sentences or whatever that might not seem like that might seem off a little bit because I did see them in 2012, and I was also like really young when I like wrote this down. So yeah. What did I leave off? Okay. One of my favorite parts of the concert was when they sang a song in the crowd. I believe that they sang honestly I really don't remember what song they or songs that they sang out in the crowd. But when they did do that, where I was like sitting, oh, actually, like, okay, so how it was like set up, it was like the stage hit 100 sections, so like it was like 100, 101, 102, so on and so forth. I think up until like 103 maybe, or if not 104. Then there was like a little walkway, and then there was like 200 sections, so like 200, 201, 202, the sound booth, and then some more sections. And then there was like a like grass field and kind of like in the back that was like kind of like angled a little bit so like people could still see if they sat in the lawn. So it was me, my mom, and my friend Alexa. So it was the three of us. I kind of forgot that she did go with us, but yeah. So we were in like the 200-ish section, kind of like not like right next to the sound equipment, but like one section over. So like it was the sound booth and then like a section, a little like walkway area kind of in between the two sections, and then us. So I couldn't really see them too much when they were like out in the audience, but it was like still kind of cool that they do that. When we were walking, okay, so this was like after the concert. So when we were walking to the car, there was a crowd of people by the gate. I'm guessing like kind of like where the tour buses were. So I walked over and Cody Simpson was standing near the gate, which was like really, really cool that I was like that close to him. And I was like 5 feet away from him. And I don't know if like he saw me or not. He could have. But and then this was like after he left. So after he left, I asked my mom if we could wait to see if Big Time Rush would come out. So we waited. We waited about 20-ish minutes and they did not come out. But once we crossed the street, they had finally come out. So then, like, after that, we did, like, walk back to the car. And I don't remember what time we got home. But it was kind of turning, it was probably, like, about 12-ish, maybe. I don't really know exactly what time um we did get home. But it definitely was, like, a really fun first time seeing them from what I could remember when I wrote it down. Because I think I wrote it down sometime after um the concert and everything, like a couple years later, I think. Maybe in 2014, if not 2015. So, yeah. But this first coat seems like it's dry. I'm going to now do the second color, or second thing for it now. Sorry, there's a helicopter going by. It's a little distracting. I don't know how well you guys can hear it or not because I am using a mic, but it is what it is. That's why I do have a mic. But I kind of wish that I had something where I could film the concerts that had audio for it, because the very first concert that I went to that I did have something where I recorded and there was, like, sound and stuff was when I saw One Direction in 2014. Because I've noticed that whenever I do film um at concerts, like, what, like, the songs and stuff like that, I have I have a better memory of what happened at the concert. I don't know why. But yeah, so the first two times that I saw Big Time Rush, I didn't really have anything, like I said, been saying, that I could record and had sound. But I do kind of remember a few things, like, visually of what happened. So I'm kind of glad that I do have some type of visual memory. But I can also always go onto YouTube to see if anybody posted videos from that night, and I can, like, go back and watch it, which I actually have not done in a while. And now that I'm, like, thinking about it, one of the things that I did not add was, I think, in the middle of the show, if not towards the end, they stood in, like, the middle, kind of towards the edge of the stage, and they took a photo with the crowd. And I think I also did have a poster for that concert, and I did hold it up from time to time. And even though you can't see me in the video, in the photo, sorry, sounds like there's another helicopter or something flying by, but I kind of know, like, the area that I was, like, sitting in, so, like, I know I'm, like, in the photo, which is cool. But the second time that I saw them, when they went on tour with Victoria, um since I, kind of spoiler, I was sitting near the sound booth and also kind of near where that walkway was in between the 100s and the 200s. So this when I saw them the second time, actually, maybe they only did it for the 2013 shows, because Victoria Justice also did the same thing. But um I definitely had a poster for that show, and I was definitely, like, kind of, like, towards the middle, but, like, near, like the middle of, like, the photo, so I kind of knew where I was, like, sitting, and I kind of, like, you still can't see me, but just knowing that I'm in that photo is nice. But yeah, it was, like, a definitely fun concert. I don't really know what else I can say about it. So I'm gonna come back once the second um coat of paint is done, and I can go in and talk about the second time I've seen Big Time Rush. So it'll be like a couple minutes for me, but for you, it'll probably be like 0.1 seconds. So stay tuned. Okay, so I got the second coat done. I know you probably can't tell much on camera the difference, but I have it all done. I think I might just do 2 coats. I want to see what it looks like when it's done drying to see if I want to do a third coat or not. But I did use all the paint that was in here for the edges. So I am now going to talk about the second Big Time Rush concert experience. And of course, this was the one with Victoria Justice. And this was also the one where it was James's birthday. So this is Big Time Rush and Victoria Justice, Tuesday, July 16th, 2023. So I do have quite a bit to talk about. This one shouldn't be as bad sentence wise. So yeah. I wanna try to go through it on one go. I might pause in between some of the sentences if I want to add something to it, so I'm just gonna try to go all in one. When me and my mom got to the concert, we went to our seats and they were next to the sound equipment, so we got to see what they were doing. When the first opening act was on, I went to the merch table because I didn't really know, um, didn't really care for that person too much. I really don't remember who the first opening act of the two. I know Victoria's was one of them. I don't remember who the second opening act was, but I think where the merch table was, there was a TV in that area, so you could still see what was going on and um what was going on in stage, and so you didn't miss anything. So the next opening act was sorry, this fell. I should probably put something heavy on top of it so it doesn't try to fly off. Alright. Where was I? The next opening act was Victoria's. When she was on, she sang most of the songs from her show Victorious. My favorite parts during her performance was when she brought her sister on stage and sang a song with her. I don't remember what the song was, but I do remember her coming on stage. But yeah. Um after so my other favorite part was when she took a photo with the crowd, which I do remember her doing. I'm going to see if I can try to find the photo somewhere. I don't know if I have it in my camera roll. I probably should. If not, I'm going to see if I can find it on Google somewhere. I want to put it up in this area so you guys can see it. I'm going to try to also put maybe a dot or a small circle of roughly where I was sitting. So yeah. When she was done, so I did write down the opening act. So when she was done, Olivia Summers. Hold on. Okay. Maybe she was. Maybe there was the opening acts. I can't remember. So when she was done, Olivia Summers came on. I didn't really know any of her music, so I was just watching her performance. The only thing I remember her doing was taking a video of the crowd. I think she might have posted on social media somewhere. So I want to see if I can look her up and find that video and also put it in. But if not, I'm sorry. When we were waiting for Big Time Rush, I saw that Olivia was in the box where the sound equipment was. So I went over and got my shirt signed by her. So I the shirt that I was wearing was the shirt that I got from the previous tour, so I had her sign it. And she might have done my left sleeve. I can't remember. So yeah. Um, the second she signed my shirt, of course, Big Time Rush came on, so I quickly went back to my seat. When Big Time Rush was on, they had big um bouncy balls, like kind of like beach ball type ones in the crowd, and they came out into the crowd during their song "We Are." When they were in the crowd, I got to touch Logan's hand. So because this time I was near the sound booth, I was like maybe 2 or 3 rows in from the little walkway. So I was able to go kind of like to the fence that was there, and I briefly, like, kind of basically the tips of my fingers, I was able to touch Logan's hand, which was nice. Logan is my favorite. If and you probably would be able to tell later on when I saw them in 22 and 23. So when they were done the show, Big Time Rush took a photo with the crowd, just like Victoria did. So I'm also gonna add that in as well, and then I'm also gonna try to find the video of somebody posting like a video of us singing to James for his birthday. So I'm gonna now try. Okay, so I think this was the one for Big Time Rush. Yeah. So I do have up the next concert experience for Big Time Rush. I'm going to wait to read that one. I don't want to like go through all of them right now because I do want to do some like other stuff. So I, I'm actually gonna give this a little bit more time to dry. So I actually will read another experience in here, and then I'll probably come back with the drawing on here. I want to do it off camera because I know I'm gonna probably mess up a couple of times, so I just want to do it off camera. So this one is pretty long. It's mainly on one page and then a little bit onto the next. So this was Jingle Ball, and it was on Monday, December 13th, 2021. So I think this was like the first Jingle Ball back since COVID. So I thought they were going to be doing the pre-show like they've done in the past, because I've done a couple of the pre-shows even so this was I think my second time going to Jingle Ball at this time, because I know I went to Jingle Ball 2019, I believe. Let me just double check. I've gone to so many concerts that it's like insane. But I just like want to double check though. Because I think I went to the 2019 pre-show Jingle Ball. No, it was 2017 that I went. So I have gone to a couple pre-shows. I went to the pre-show in 2017, 2019, and I think one other year. So at least I was able to experience that. But we're not talking about those concert experience. We're going to be talking about all and any of my concert experiences from Big Time Rush. Oops, sorry. And then I also we'll talk about the day that I met Gustavo, and I will add that in as well. I'm gonna do that after. Well, since I saw them met him in 2025, I will talk about that concert after. No, before the 2025 concert that I saw them at. So, as I already showed, this is the concert experience. This was their first performance back since the hiatus slash breakup. So, as I already explained, at this prior to getting there, I thought that they were going to do the pre-show, but they didn't. So it kind of starts off with that. And there are going to be other artists that I will mention as well because they were also at the show, but just know that like Big Time Rush was one of the performances. All right. I had work until 3:15, which at this time I was working at Michael's. So I left right from there to go to the Xfinity Live Center for the pre-show, but they did not have the pre-show this year because of COVID. I got there around 4 o'clock and just hung out at the Xfinity Live Center until about 6:30. When the doors opened, so the doors opened at 6:30. When the doors opened for the main show at 7:30. The first and so I feel like I'm kind of like jumping back and forth from what I'm reading and what I'm adding on. So let me start that sentence again. I got there around 4 and I just hung out there until 6:30 when the doors opened for the main show at 7:30. So I think a little bit before I a little bit before me walking over to the Wells Fargo Center, which was the name of the venue. When I we um went to the show for Jingle Ball, AJR, they were one of the people that were going to be performing, but they couldn't because one of them had COVID, so they couldn't do the performance, which was like I was really bummed about. But we're not really going to talk much about them because Big Time Rush that we're mainly going to be talking about for the concert experiences, like I said. But and I feel like this video might be geared mostly towards Big Time Rush. I'm sorry for that, but if you like some of the other shows that I mentioned, so um, the first artist that came on was Dixie D'Amelio. I feel like I'm saying her last name wrong. She did 4 to 6 songs. The next artist that was on was Monster X. They also did 4 to 6 songs. So a lot of the artists only did like a few songs. So, but I want to take a break because a pause because UPS just got here. Hold on 1 second.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear James. Happy birthday to you. You guys are so sweet. You guys are amazing.
Alright. I think my mic is still on. Yeah. Alright. So, sorry about that. I had to take care of a package. So, I'm gonna finish reading off where I left off at. And I think I might have to come back tomorrow to finish this because it's starting to get windy and like everything's starting to like I don't want this to blow away while I'm working on this. So I think I might have to like pause for a little bit and I'll finish filming everything tomorrow and over the weekend depending on the weather. But yeah, and I might also just I still don't know how I'm gonna do this video. I just want to make sure that I have like a decent long video for you guys. So yeah, let's continue over where I left off at. The next artist was Tay T-A-I, and then I don't know how to pronounce her last name. It's Verdes, and I don't know who that is. He did 4 to 5 songs. After him, it was Bozzy, and he is one of my favorite solo artists. I don't think he's done much recently, but I'm glad that I was finally able to see him and hear some of my favorite songs of him live. He also did five. He did 5 songs. Then see that some paper towels just flew away, so that's also kind of why I want to take a break because of how windy It is, and I didn't realize how windy it was gonna be. Um, then Tate McRae came on. She did 4 to 6 songs. The next artist was the Black Eyed Peas. I know my brother likes them, so I filmed some of their songs for him and took pictures for him. They did 6 songs. After them, one of my favorite artists of the night was Big Time Rush. They only did 4 songs, and I was hoping they would do more, but apparently they didn't because there was other artists. But I'm glad that there was other artists there that I wanted to see. Um, After them was Cam Brown. He is also like an artist that I listen to from time to time. He's not one of my favorites, but he is a good singer. He did 4 to 5 songs. The last artist of the night was Sweetie, I think it was. She did 4 to 6 songs. There was 2 artists that did not sing, and that was on the list lineup, and that was Doja Cat, which I think she was also sick, and then of course like AJR, like I mentioned in the beginning. They couldn't do the show because Doja Cat and Jack from AJR both got COVID, so they had to cancel. Alright, so both Doja Cat and then Jack from AJR both had COVID. Okay. Um, I was really looking forward to seeing AJR because I haven't seen them since 2014. The show ended between 10 and 10:30. After it ended, I went to the bathroom and got merch. After I got merch, I went back to the Xfinity Live Center for my mom to come and pick me up. I didn't get home till about 12 and got to bed by 12:30. I know there's a little bit more. And I am glad I went because I got to be a part of Big Time Rush's first show back since the breakup. So, I mean, that was like the main reason why I wanted to go to that show because it was their first show back since, um, I guess like 2013, if not 2014. So, yeah. Um, so I'm gonna take a break, and I somehow scuffed up some of the paint. I don't know like how well you guys can see that like in the corner right here. So I want to touch that up really quick. And then after that, I I'm actually just gonna use my finger, I don't care. After that, after I finish this up really quick, I am okay, so I'm gonna need a little bit more coats. I'm just gonna do like a little touch up right now for this section here. But I will come back possibly tomorrow, which is Friday for me, to do some more of this. I'm gonna put everything into the garage for now. So stay tuned for that. And I think most of this video will be kind of like doing like the base coat and showing the drawing part, and then hopefully maybe part of painting like other than like the background color. I'm gonna have the picture going this way. So I think there's like, oh yeah, there's another helicopter going by. So sorry about that. I'm gonna have the picture going this way, and then hopefully I can paint more of it on camera for you guys and do a time lapse. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Okay, so I already drew it on the canvas, well, the picture, and I did little touch-ups of the background. That's why you can tell that some of it looks a little different. But as I'm waiting for this to dry, I guess I can go in and read the next concert experience, which I kinda maybe forget which one I left off at, which I probably should have looked at the footage of what I left off at. Oh, So I think the last one I left off at was the Jingle Ball one. So now I would just need, I think the 2022 show, which I do have like a little bit more stuff. So it's like this whole page plus like a half of a page. So yeah, I'm also while I was drawing the picture, which I now kind of look, actually it might look a little crooked, but oh well. So as I was doing that, I do have something up on my iPad while I was watching that, drawing it, but I'm just gonna go right into this as we wait for this to dry, and then I'm gonna do a time lapse of me painting this. So yeah. Alright, so this is Big Time Rush, Tuesday, July 28th, 2022. And this was the concept that I got a hug from Logan from. So after I like read everything, I will put that video in at the end. So let's get started. Me and Alexa, who's one of my friends, we got ready around 10:30, 11 for the concert. We left the house around 2:30 because we had to go to the bank for Alexa. Don't remember what it was, but yeah. I guess like she needed to like get something, but yeah. After the bank, we went to McDonald's to get some food. We got to the venue around 4:20, 4:30ish. The doors opened at 6:30. But the fast pass we had the fast pass, so we went in before everyone else. So I think we went in like 30 minutes before everybody else, or like a couple minutes before everybody else, I don't remember. When we got in, we went to the merch table. After that, we met up with my friend Emily. Me and Emily, we've been friends, I think, since around 2017, 2018. Actually, okay, so, well, actually the next sentence doesn't involve when we met. Alright, so this was the first time, I saw her since 2019. Because I think I saw her at a different concert in 2019. Once we met up, we chilled and found our seats. Emily had seats right behind Pitt, and we had seats by one of the cameras. I guess so we were gonna have lawn seats, but with my friend, she had a medical thing, and we were able to go a little bit closer, and where we were sitting, there was like a camera filming them for like the screens and stuff like that. So we were like a little bit closer. So it was like the stage, pit, 100 section ish, and then like a walkway, and then we were kind of like a little bit before the walkway. And this wasn't in Camden, it was in Philly. Once we found our seats, we got in line to get something to drink, and when we were in line, we made a new friend named Frankie. So I kind of remember meeting her, but haven't really kept up with her. I think I follow her on Instagram, if anything. Then when we got back to our seats to watch Dixie D'Amelio, she was the opener. Well, I just put Dixie, I think it was Dixie D'Amelio, but yeah. After her show, we met up back up with Emily before BTR came on. When we met up, she wanted some ice cream, so we went to get some ice cream. I forget what flavor she ended up getting. I don't remember if it was Alexa or Emily that got the ice cream. When we didn't have much time till BTR came on, so we had to make it back to our seats quick. BTR came on at 8:45 and was on till about 11. And everything like about this concert was a lot of fun, especially with the moment that I did get with Logan. They opened up with Windows Down and ended with Boyfriend. They played a lot of old songs and some new songs. So I want to say they did like half and half, so like half old from the show and then half new songs from their latest album, which I think was Another Life, or the album before that. During their show, they had a guest, and the guest was Rick Rolled, I think. I don't know who that is. I mean, the name sounds familiar, but I really don't know who that was. And he came on like mid-performance, I think. When they sang "Time of Our Lives" and "Paralyzed," they were out in the crowd, like they've been doing for a while. They like always go out in the crowd, which I love. Logan was near me and Alexa. Logan was near where me and Alexa were sitting. After they sang "Paralyzed," they went back they went back to the stage. But because Logan was near us, he walked by me, and I had a poster that says "I Heart Logan," and he saw it as well. And apparently I told him I love you, but like I don't remember ever saying that to him, but with the video that I have from like my point of view, I apparently did say it. So I'm trying to find and he also gave me a hug. It was the best moment ever. When they sang "Boyfriend" and "Confetti Falling," they had confetti, but the confetti for "Boyfriend" that went out into the crowd. So okay. So the confetti for "Confetti Falling," I think most of that was like up on the stage, and then for "Boyfriend," it was like they like shot it out into the crowd, I think. And I got like tan. Okay, so after the show, I had gotten some confetti. So I got 10 handfuls. Once the show ended, we met up with Emily and one final time and went to the merch table in the bathroom. So I think Alexa had gotten some merch, and then I had gone into the bathroom while she was getting that. After that, we said bye to Emily and went to go find my mom. We dropped off Alexa at around 12 p.m. at her house, and I didn't get to bed until 1 a.m. This was truly the best concert that I've been to, Big Time Rush wise. So, like, I've been to so many concerts, and I think that one was definitely my favorite Big Time Rush concert for sure. So, then the next time I saw them was in 2023. Yeah, so it was at the Jingle Ball show in 2023. So before I get into that, I'm gonna add in the clip of like me getting the hug from Logan, and then I'll do the time lapse of painting this a little bit more. So stay tuned. Okay, so as you guys could tell, I did. Let me see if I can grab it. Hold on. This is what it looks like right now. So I just did the white and then the skin color so far. And then, if you guys couldn't tell in the time lapse, I by accident started to paint the white in the background of Harry. So hopefully that won't show too much, but I did like kind of like custom a color. So I did yellow with a little bit of orange because that's kind of like what the background looks like. So yeah, so as I wait for that to dry a little bit, I'm gonna go in and read the next um concert experience for with Big Time Rush. So this one was the one of the Jingle Ball shows. So there's really not like a lot. So alright, so this was Jingle Ball, the on Tuesday, December 12th, 2023. So around 5:30, I started to walk to meet up with Marta, to then walk back to my house to have my mom have my mom take drive us to the concert. So Marta is somebody that I like used to work with. So me and her went together because one of my other friends couldn't go. Um, Once we got in, we met up with my friend Emily and hung out for a little bit before the show. And this was the Emily that I met up with at the previous Big Time Rush concert. Oh wait, I just realized that I had kind of skipped over one of the concerts. So, whoops. Well, I can go back to that. So, the next concert was actually the Big Time Rush concert where I met them. So, I don't know why I skipped over that one. I guess like I was like some pages stuck together, but I want to go back to this one really quick. So, this was Big Time Rush with Max and Jax. So, Max was in the movie Rags, and then Jax is the girl who did like babysitting, and she has a song with like Victoria's Secret or something like that. So this was the concert with where I met them. So I got this full page plus um the next half of the page. So let's get into this one first. Today was the day I finally met Big Time Rush for the first time. I've been a fan since 2009. I was waiting so long for this day. I woke up so super early and got ready. So like I couldn't barely sleep the night before, so that's kind of why I woke up a little bit early than I usually do. My grandpa took me to the concert, so we left around 12:30 because I had to be there by 2:30 because a VIP check-in was between 2:30 and 3:15. So where I met them was in Hershey Park, so that's like about 2-ish hour drive, 2.5 at the most, depending on traffic. But yeah. We got there at 2:15, so we got there just in time. When I got there, I met up with a friend, Teresa. We had the same VIP meet and greet. So a couple weeks before the concert, I was on Facebook messaging people who was going to this concert and who also had VIP. So because the VIP that I had was silver, so it was me plus 3 other people, and I just didn't want 3 random people in my photo. So Teresa was one of the people that was in the group that had the same as me. So then there was 2 other people that we got paired with at the concert. Um, so we had the silver package. So it was a group of 4. It was me, her, and a mom with her son. We waited so long outside the venue that we all got to bond. We got in about 3:30. Once we got in, we walked from one of the side of the stadiums to the other side for VIP. A minute or so when we got to the other side and other under the cover, it started to downpour. So with Hershey Park, there's a stadium, kind of like a football stadium, like at a high school. So the bleachers, so like where we had the VIP, like we went underneath where the bleachers are, and it was like there. So like the moment we got under the bleachers, like everybody got underneath, um is when it started to downpour because it was like so humid that day. There was like tornado, or there was like some type of like warning, like storm warning for that show. um We waited some more time before getting to the meet and greet, getting to meet them because we were near the end of the VIP line. And also there was like with the other packages, um all the other people had more time with them. Um what did I leave off at? We met them around 5, but it was so worth the wait. When we got closer to meeting them, it rained again, so after meeting them, me and Teresa waited under the cover for some time. Once the rain over cover for some time. Once the rain was over, we went to the merch and merch table to meet um sorry, lost my spot. To meet up with my good friend Emily. After getting merch, we hung out for a bit before the show started. Before the show started at 7. After finding my seat, I went and met up with another friend from the group chat that I made bleh, from the group chat that I made to give her a bracelet I made for her because I made like a bunch of like friendship bracelet type things. I got back to my seat. I didn't wait too long before Jax came on. She was on for 30 minutes. When she was done, we had to wait about 30ish more minutes till Max came on. I was excited for his set because he sang songs from Rags. After his set, I met up with another friend from the group chat to give her a bracelet. Then when we met back up with Emily and Teresa at the merch table to try to meet Max, but we couldn't because I think he was like meeting a few fans. Um After we hung out some more and took photos, we all went back to our seats for BTR. They came on at 9 and was on till about 10:45. One of my favorite parts of the show was Logan solo for All Over Again. It was amazing and sounded like heaven. He's like one of my favorite members. Once the show was over, I walked back to my grandpop's car to go back home. We got home between 1 and 1:30. Once I got a shower, once I got home, I got a shower because of how humid it was and had glitter and hairspray in my hair. So I had to So I had my mom put some glitter and then like hairspray in my hair to keep the glitter in. So I got to bed between 1:30 and 2. Out of the 5 times I've seen them, this was my favorite. I think it's because I met them for the first time and I actually almost cried after meeting them. Not surprisingly so. Before I go into reading the next one, I need to fix one of the legs of my table. So give me a second. And that I didn't realize that it was like that. And okay, so give me a second. I think I need to adjust my table. So yeah, sorry about that. I was wondering why my table felt so wobbly while I was filming the time lapse part. So yeah, so now let's go back to the one that I started to read. So this one is Jingle Ball Tuesday, December 12th, 2023. I'm just gonna try to read all the way through. Around 5:30, I started to walk to meet up with my with that start to meet up with Marta to then walk back to my house to have my mom drive us to the concert. Once we got in, we met up with my friend Emily and hung out for a bit before the show. After that, me and Marta went to our seats to wait till the show started. After Jelly Roll was on, me and Marta met back up with Emily. Both Emily and Marta got food and we hung out for a bit before we went back to our seats. The artist that I was excited for was Big Time Rush and One Republic. Marta was excited for One Republic. One, One Republic was the third to last artist of the night. Big Time Rush was the second to last artist of the night. The last artist of the night was Usher. We only little stayed for a little of his set because his set was not the best. After leaving during Usher's set, we were gonna meet up with Emily before leaving, but she left before we did. Once the show was over, my mom came to get us, then we dropped off Marta at home. So yeah, that was kind of like a short concert experience because not a lot happened at the concert. I mean, Big Time Rush was only on for like maybe 20 to 30-ish minutes, but also they only played a couple songs. And that's like one thing I don't like about Jingle Ball is that if I was going for like one or two artists, or maybe even like if I was just going for one artist like Big Time Rush, it would be kind of worthless because I would be spending like $50 to see them perform for like 20 to 30 minutes. So yeah. Now I'm gonna go on to the most recent concert experience that I had with Big Time Rush. So it's only like almost a full page worth. Okay, so this was Big Time Rush, Saturday, August 25th. I started to sorry. I started to get ready around 12. I started my vlog and did some TikToks before I left. I left my house a little before 5 because the doors opened at 5:30. On the way to the concert, I got some food at McDonald's. I got to the concert right when the doors opened, and the line was kind of long at the time. Like I wasn't too crazy far back, and I'm glad that well, for this time I actually did have a seat and wasn't at the lawn like I was the previous time I was at the this venue for Big Time Rush. Um After I got in, I met up with my friend Emily. Once I met up with her, we hung out for a little and talked. I also got to meet some of her friends. One of her friends had pit. At one point, my friend had to make a phone call, so me and her, one friend went to go find our seats. So like I said, her seat was in the pit, so she was a little bit closer. And then, like I said, it was stage pit, 100 section walkway, 200 section, another little walkway, and then more sections, and then a walkway in the lawn. I was in the third sec, this like last section before the lawn that had seats. So the last section that had seats was where I was like sitting. So, but I only had was like second row from like second row in. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah. Um. Do 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 do. I didn't have pitsies, but I did. I asked if I could take some photos, some pictures by the stage, and they let me. Once we did that, and we went back to once I found my seat, I went back to our friend, back to my friend, and hung out for a bit longer before going to our seats again. Before I got back to my seat, I finished up some TikToks. I only had to wait like 30 to 40 or so minutes before Gustavo came on. So he was the first opening act. And he did like a lot of covers. One of the covers that he did was Pink Pony Club. He was on for 20 minutes. Then Joe, so the person that played Joe in the show, 10 came on 10 minutes later and was on for 20 minutes as well. The boys came on at 8:45 and got done at 11. 11 got done at 11. They sang every song from every episode of their TV show, which their show was I forget what the name of the tour was, but yeah, they sang every single song from every single episode. After the show, I got confetti and got a t-shirt, which is the shirt that I'm wearing. I got home between 11:30 and 12 and got to bed a little after 12. So, one of the things that they did at this for this tour, which they never done at any other tour, was that they had like a B stage, which was like in the little walkway between the sections that I was like sitting in and the previous sections. So like when I was looking at the stage, I was like all the way kind of like towards the right. The B stage was in the middle section area. So yeah. Um I might do some more time lapse of painting this. If not, um I'm just gonna like finish this another time, which I think I might because of how long this video has been. So I think I'm just gonna do like finish this at a separate time. So I don't know how often I'm gonna post on this podcast channel. I'm gonna try to post every other week. If not, I might do like once a month. I haven't fully decided like how often I want to post on here. So yes, stay tuned for that. The next episode. Um, I almost forgot what the name of this podcast is because I just created it. So it's gonna take me some time to remember. Um, so thanks for watching the Nickelodeon Dream Team podcast, PCA to Palm Woods. Until next time, see ya.